All right, we're good, right?
Mm-hmm.
All right. All right, Maddie. SummerSlam rewind time here on Wrestle Matts. We're taking you back to 2011. Randy Orton, Christian, Captain Charisma, Peep Show, benefit of Flash Photography. Christian there as your World Heavyweight Champion. This match, a very, very interesting, entertaining match here, Maddie. And we get a little bit of background before we get to the match itself. These two had a match at Money in the Bank, and Christian had a stipulation where if Randy Orton was DQ'd, Christian still got the title, and that's how we get here to SummerSlam with Christian as World Heavyweight Champion.
Yeah, this is how you build a feud. Summer-long feud. We've seen this the last couple ones we've watched with either Brock Lesnar and Cody Rhodes, or last week with CM Punk, Jeff Hardy. These are great SummerSlam matches to kind of get you in the mood for SummerSlam. But yeah, seeing Christian as a main event WWE superstar, not something I really remembered going back and looking at it, 10 plus years ago.
Yeah, it's approaching 15 years at this point, and they said on commentary that he was a two-time world champion at that point, which I hardly remember as well. But to be in the quote-unquote co-main event, which is how they build it there with Randy Orton, is quite the stage. And so, Maddie, the first thing I want to talk about with this particular match is that it was billed as a no-holds-barred match. Under the WWE umbrella, Maddie, can you tell me what the hell the difference is between no holds barred and no disqualification?
It's the same goddamn thing.
Okay.
It's
making sure it wasn't just me.
There are a lot of no DQ, no hold. I don't ever think I hear a no holds barred match anymore. Do you?
I think I've heard it once in maybe like the last year or two, but I really haven't had a specific difference. Like I can tell you the difference between the Battle Royal and a Royal Rumble, right? Between everybody starting in a ring versus, but I have no idea. And you kind of get a glimpse of that, right, with this particular match, because it doesn't stay in the ring. There are weapons. There's all the things that we'll get into. But before we even get there, as on our podcast this week, we talked about Pro Wrestling Returns, Maddie, and we actually had a little bit of a return before this match happened. Christian thought he was going to get a leg up on Randy Orton by bringing back his dear old friend Edge out there to be in his corner for this match. But little do we know, Edge is gonna not quite heel turn or turn down Christian, but he's like, hey man, you got to do this on your own. You're starting to become a little bitch about all this. This is all you. This is your match. You go out there and earn it.
Well, and I think that played well with these two guys because you have Christian as this whiny heel bitch that's like doing anything he can as a coward to kind of get out of things, including provoking Randy Orton. We were talking about what was it, like a DQ? If Randy Orton got DQ'd, he'd lose the title maybe one of the matches before, and Christian spits in his face just to get Randy Orton pissed off and DQ'd. So I think it was like a perfect styles clash with these two. Like, if you're telling a story, this is what you want. You want this, like, slimy heel. Miz does a really good job with this as well. But Christian is that, and then Orton as, I guess he was your good guy at the time, but he was still dealing with these anger issues, which you've seen in real life come apart. So that was kind of cool as well. But, yeah, great, like, matchup, I think.
Yeah, no, I think if on screen you bring out your best friend and your best friend says, I don't want to be best friends with you, and you stay away, you do this on your own, that tells you how much everyone else, not even your best friend, likes you. So, of course, you want to see Christian eventually get his ass kicked. But as this match gets going, Maddie, it's a pretty physical match between these two. And kind of to your point, I didn't expect this physicality out of Christian, man, and I thought it was pretty good.
Yeah, I was impressed, like, all around with the use of weapons, how snug Orton is with his punches, his kicks, like everything about it. And then how smooth Christian is. Usually you're saying that about Randy Orton, but man, I've never seen a guy get in and out of counters, reverses like Christian. I was like, man, props to him for being just, maybe it's just agile, I guess would be the word. But yeah, man, he was quick in the ring, which I was really blown away by. Not seeing a lot of Christian as a singles wrestler.
He was quick in the ring. He was quick with his thoughts. He was fluid in the way that a little bit that Randy's fluid, right? And that he doesn't waste a
Yeah.
lot of motion in what he's doing. He also had some unique things and some throwbacks to some things that I think are kind of some safer spots that we are accustomed to seeing in like some old school wrestling. And for instance, so Randy was on the second rope with his chin, and Christian stands on the second rope but pulls up the top rope for leverage and that sort of thing. And then he pulls out the TV, and while it's still connected in the actual announce booth, hits him, with the monitor in the announce booth
Yeah.
without detaching it. You know what I mean? And so there's little differences and nuances, and we'll see some innovative offense from Randy Orton later on when we talk about that. But just to go like with Christian himself, you see him thinking differently than a lot of other wrestlers.
Yeah, and I think that's kind of that old school mentality, something
Mm.
we're kind of seeing with a guy who grew up in wrestling in the 90s. So you kind of blend the styles of the past and the present. And I think this is kind of what 2011. It was almost like, I don't know, it's maybe I just haven't seen enough Christian matches, but this was kind of like maybe a late bloomer, I guess would be the word. Because I never really had this appreciation for Christian as a performer when it was in the moment. You know what I mean?
I think they even said it on commentary that Christian is kind of late in the game for where he was at within his career and on that stage with Randy Orton, because I think at this particular time, I think at the end of the match, they say that Randy is a 7-time champion already. And so to think about Randy there still, what, 15 years ago? So he's early 30s probably, and already
Right.
7-time
Yeah.
champion. It's just a different path, a different career arc for these two guys, but they're there putting on this kick-ass main event together. And this match, Maddie, has a little bit of everything, whether it's no DQ, which I think the announce team called it a couple of times, or no holds barred, whatever you want to call it. But it has a little bit of everything from weapons to the rope usage to Randy and Christian going out in the crowd. It's a nice little mix up, and I don't ever think it actually got lost anywhere.
No, I thought it was a smooth match. I think that's where the chemistry came in, the innovations with Christian. You even see a spot where I think Randy suplexes Christian onto a table that's just in the ring. It's not even set up yet
Oh
off the
God,
top
that
rope.
spot! Oh
And I was like, dude,
man.
that's genius though. Things like you were saying with the Christian did, like things you don't see all the time have just as much of a effect on you as the things you see a million times. So to me, yeah, dude, they went through all the weapons, trash cans, tables, announce tables, chairs, kendo sticks. They hit everything you would want in a weapons match, in a no DQ match, in a no holds barred match. And like I said, Randy's stiff as fuck in this match. So I think
Yeah.
Christian took an ass whooping, and he did, and I think that was part of the story as well. You got to sell that this guy's Randy Orton's getting the retribution. So yeah, dude, all of it, getting abused, the counters. It was just all in all, it was a good spot to be in as a wrestling fan.
That table spot, if it's an actual safe bump with it being flat, should make a comeback, because that looks so that looks so devastating when the table did not give like that. And to that point, Randy is smart enough to say, "Hey, this table is not completely broken." He goes and props it in the corner and uses it later on in the match. I mean, that's just a whole nother level of innovation and recognition there for Randy Orton. But let's get to really the part where this story turns, or this match turns, and that's Christian spitting in the face once again of Randy Orton. And you just see that switch click right with Randy Orton. He completely sees red. Every weapon he can use, he does use. He even gets busted open, and at some point, Maddie, it just wipes blood across his face, and you're like, "Oh man, you don't want to be across from Randy Orton right now." And when he's in that mode, man, he's absolutely unstoppable.
Yeah, and that's what makes Randy Orton to me just as good as John Cena, man. Like the bell to bell work, the facial expressions, just he literally you believe in the character of Randy Orton.
Oh
And I don't
yeah.
know if that's because that is him or he's just so good at storytelling. To me, like this is peak Randy Orton. And hell, I think we're still in peak Randy Orton. That's how good this guy is.
Yeah, we may damn well be. So the end of this match, Maddie, I gotta be 1 billion% honest. I forgot about this RKO. I
on
forgot
the
about this RKO on the steel stairs.
right. Yes. So that was the
Uh,
only thing I remembered from this match was the RKO on the stairs.
yeah. For some reason, I did not remember it, and when I saw it, I went, "Oh, go!" It just like
Yeah.
flinched all over the place. I
Christian's
wasn't ready for it because it was, in fact, out of nowhere. Christian's going for this springboard. Randy catches him there on the stairs. I mean, it looks absolutely brutal, dude. But at the same time, perfect way to end this match.
and they did it like it was almost like in succession, like move after move. You get the
Right.
DDT onto the trash can. Then he does
Hmm.
the what is that called where he spins you
The power
around and
slam.
slams you? The
Yeah.
power slam onto the table, and it sets it up perfect with the finisher with the Christian getting hit with the RKO. Like it follows through in the story of Randy Orton getting his win back.
Yeah, absolutely. So there you have Randy as a 7-time world champion. Again, early 30s. Great match here out of these two, Maddie. Where do you rank it, 1 to 10?
All right, so here's my problem. One thing my only
Uh-oh.
takeaway: love the match. I don't love Christian. There's something that just doesn't click
Well,
with
that's a
me
you
with
problem.
Christian. Yeah, I think it is. Like I was like, what is he missing? Like
Okay.
why can't I invest in Christian more?
Okay.
Like because he is a good wrestler.
Yeah.
He is a good slimy heel, and he
Yep.
was always funny like Edge and Christian. But there's a disconnect there with me and Christian somehow, where I'm not fully invested in him,
Okay.
and I don't know why. So from a match like storytelling, I think it was great. I think the action was great. I can't because I'm not one of the peeps. I can't say I would watch a Christian match again
Oh,
because
no.
it
Oh,
just
goodness.
it didn't fit. Like I just don't know why. So I'm gonna give it an 8. I think I could go 7.5, but I think that'd be a disservice to how good the back and the flow, the
Okay.
reversals, everything was. So I'm gonna go an 8.
You had me worried there. I'll accept an 8. That's fine. You had me worried that you were
Yeah.
going to break out like a 5 or a 6 or something. And I'm
No,
like,
no, no. It
that's a
was a good
disservice
match.
to Randy at that point.
No, it's just I don't know. There's something missing with me and Christian. Like
Okay.
I don't, I don't invest, and that's the only thing. Would I watch Christian in this match again? Probably not.
Okay. All right. That's fair. I get that. Um, I'm gonna go 9. It's
Yeah,
right there for me, man. In terms of just having everything that you want. It's got false finishes. It's got the weapons. It's got a little bit of the outside the ring. It's got this promo, this extra investment before the match. The only reason I'm saying 9 is because I know what we're going to talk about later, for this week in another match that we're going to drop. So you can either take that as I'm going to give that higher than a 9 or lower than a 9. You got to go back and watch that on our YouTube channel as well. But I'm just saying this one hits right there at a 9 for me. For me, so far of SummerSlam matches we've talked about, this is up there for me.
I like it. I can see that. Like I said, if it was maybe Edge and Orton in that same match, you just put Edge in, I think I would have been a 9.5. But there's
Interesting.
just something. It's just Christian. I don't know. I'm not one of his peeps. But yeah, guys, this is what it's all about. Is SummerSlam match reviews. We're diving into these matches we haven't seen in 5, 10, 15, 20 years. It's so fun. Make sure you check out our channel with all these great content, whether it's reviews, our podcasts, our shorts. We're literally dropping content every single day.
Yep. Hit us up at Wrestle Matts. Let us know what do you think about Orton and Christian SummerSlam 2011.